Hello, it's Steve Mills here, and welcome to the Results Mastery podcast. It's fantastic to have you here, and I really do appreciate your time in spending some time with me in order to help you to grow your business. I've been helping businesses for over 30 years now. I've worked with over 10,000 businesses in hundreds of industries, helping them to create significant profit in their business. I've developed a process, a system called Results Mastery, and I teach and preach and train businesses in how to make more money more easily, more often, by increasing and improving the performance of each and every element of their marketing. Now, today I'm going to play you a recording. Actually, it's a recording of a recent live stream that I did. It's called Turning Your Website into a Sales Machine. And it really, the reason I'm playing you a recording is it was a really, really good event, and I think you'd benefit from it. So if you're like most people that I speak to, you've probably got a website. The chances are it's not winning you any business. I heard the term many times that, oh, my website's a brochure site. I don't want to win any business from it. And that is just an excuse. It's just quite frankly, a bullshit excuse, in my opinion, for the fact that I've done no marketing for it, and I've got a website that may look nice, it may create a good first impression, but hardly anybody's looking at it. So there are really two things that I talk about in the presentation that you're going to listen to. One is conversion. When you get people to come to your website, does your website convert? And the second one is traffic, because if nobody's coming to your website, then it doesn't really matter whether it converts or not, because nobody's coming to your website. So they're the two keys for me. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you again at the end. Thanks ever so much for listening.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and your effort in being here, because I know, based on 30 plus years of experience of doing this type of thing, that people's time is probably the more valuable commitment, really. We can all spend money very, very easily. Spending time is more difficult. So I want to try and make sure that I give you the best return possible in the, I don't know, quarter of an hour, 20 minutes that this live stream is going to run. My name is Steve Mills. As I've already mentioned, I've spent, it's actually coming up to 31 years now of experience of working with and for small businesses, helping them to make more money. I pride myself on the fact that I've helped them, some of them, make millions and millions of pounds of additional income. I've worked with over 10,000 different businesses, and I've learned my skills by listening to and learning from the world's leading sales, marketing, and business growth experts. I come from a background as a professional table tennis player, and I figured out back many years ago when I was a young man that the best way of getting good at table tennis was to learn from the best. Go and try and spend time, practice with, do the same things as the best players I could possibly find, and I would get the same or similar results. And that proved to be true. And I think it's still as true today in business as it was back then. So by learning and keeping up to date, I then pass on that information to my clients and people like yourselves who come to my events. So that said, we're here today to talk about websites. Now, websites are an interesting thing. I hear so often people tell me, well, my website's just a brochure site, Steve. I don't expect to win any business from it. And, that's almost a self-fulfilling failure attitude. Yeah, it might be just a brochure site, but why? It's because you're not doing anything. You just put your website up on the internet and expecting that loads of people are going to go to it, and sign up and give you money. And that's great if you manage to achieve that. But unless you're Nike or I don't know, Apple or somebody like that, where you're world famous, you've got a problem, and that problem is to start with is all around. Not conversion. Is all around traffic. You're not getting enough people to your website. It's as simple as that. The second problem that you've got is the one that I just mentioned, conversion. Yeah, a lot of people get people to go to their website, but the website doesn't convert. Some of them are spending a fortune on sites like Google AdWords and LinkedIn advertising, Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, and so on and so forth. And when people go to their website, they don't buy. So that's just costing you money. It's either costing you money or time again. So what I want to try to do today is just to give you some tips, some ideas, some things that you can do to improve those two things, because they're the only two things that matter. Yes, the words matter. Yes, the look and the design of your site matter, but they only matter because of conversion. If you've got a nice looking website, potentially could convert better than a terrible looking website. Not always, by the way, but it definitely pays to have an attractive looking website and good words and so on and so forth. So anyway, we're going to start off by talking about conversion, because what I don't want you to do is to get hooked into thinking, right, okay, I'm going to get loads of people to this website, because it's a website that doesn't convert. So let's talk about how you can improve the conversion rate of your website. One of the first things you do need to know, though, is how many people are visiting that website right now. Because if you don't know that, you could improve your conversion rate. And if you're not getting anybody there, it's still not going to make any difference, is it? So we need to know what that is. Now, there's this great little tool that not everybody knows about, but you should, called Google Analytics, right? It's free. Google provide it free. All you have to do is to set up Google Analytics, take some code from Google and put it into what is the back end of your website. You may be thinking, I don't know how to do that. Do you know what? Neither do I. I don't need to know. I've got a web developer that does that sort of work. And I'm sure you've got a web developer, the person who developed your website, unless that's you, get them to do it. It'll take them 10 minutes and it'll save you bothering to have to learn to do it. That's my attitude anyway. It's only done once, so spending 2 hours learning how to do it so I can do it once is irrelevant. And I'll tell you what, if you can't do it, I'll get my guy to do it for you and just charge you a menial amount. It won't take long, so I'll just charge you a little bit of money to do it. But you probably use your guy and get them to do it for you. So that's sort of step one. So anyway, let's talk about how to improve conversion rates. Firstly, think about your website from a point of view of somebody landing on there for the first time, the initial view of your website. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show you my site for a second. Not saying that my site's the perfect website, but it's not bad. And it converts quite well. So here we go. So this bit here, this is my home page, and this is the top of my home page. And what I want to ask you, it's just loading a bit slow because I've got my camera going. So what I'm going to ask you is what is my most wanted action? Right, when somebody comes here and clicks here, what is my MWA, my most wanted action? Well, I can tell you what it is. It's to get people to sign up and join my results mastery community. Why do I want to do that? Because I'm going to give them loads of stuff, and because I want to bring them into my world. I want to be able to message them, to connect to them on LinkedIn, to send them emails, and so on and so forth. So if that's my number one action that I want, if I just click off that for now, what's my number two action, would you think? You could argue that it's one of two things. It could be to watch the video, or it could be to get them to book a meeting with me, couldn't it? Now, the important thing is here that there's not 1,001 things for people to do. Click this link, go here, click that other link, go to that place over there, and so on and so forth. So there's only like a couple of things that you can do. Well, there's three things, isn't there, really? That's one of the things that I think you need to do to increase and improve the conversion rate. I'm a big believer in video, by the way, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And when you look at this, you think, oh, let's have a look at that. All right, he seems a decent person. And so on and so forth. Feel free to watch that video in your own time. But so there's a couple of things that you need to think about in terms of your conversion rate. So just back to me right now. Here we go. Yeah, and a couple of other things I want to talk to you about. Firstly, the headline. There's an old saying in marketing that the headline is the advert for the advert. When we're back in the days when we stuck adverts in newspapers and magazines and so on, the most important element, and they say that 80% of the effectiveness of your advert comes down to your headline. In today's world, 80% of the effectiveness of your web page comes down to the headline. Now, what sort of headlines have you got on your website? If you're like 99% of businesses, you've got a headline called Our Services. Now, what's that about? Well, you've got no idea. You could be a plumber, you could be a marketing person, you could be an accountant, it could be anything. It doesn't tell me anything about what you do. So Our Services ain't a good one. Even if you turned it to marketing services or accountancy services, plumbing services, not the best headline ever, but certainly better than Our Services. Wouldn't you agree? There's a caveat to that as well, that Google, when it comes to rating your website from an SEO point of view, where do you think it puts a web page called Our Services? Don't know what it's about, does it? How does Google know that it's about marketing services? Because it's just called Our Services. So there's no way for Google to know. Excuse me. I'm just going to get a drink now. There we go, that's better. There's no way for Google to know what that page is about. So make sure you tell Google and you tell other people. You've then probably got a page called About Us. Who cares about you? Only you. Yeah, there's only me cares about me. What we care about is what you care about is what I can do for you. So instead of having a page called About Us, why not have a page called How We Help? How we help you. Will that be better? And think about that from not only from your web page's point of view, but also from your blog. And this is a really important one. If you've not got a blog is a great way of getting traffic to your website. I know we're talking about conversion, but trust me, this will be worth listening to. So why is that? Well, there's a great book called They Ask, You Answer. Right? They ask, you answer. And if you answer questions that people might ask when they're looking for you on Google, and you answer that question with a blog on your website. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I know that there's a reasonable amount of people going on to Google today. Sorry, I should have turned that off and I didn't. There's a reasonable amount of people going on to Google right now and typing in something like how to use AI in marketing. So what do? I produce a blog post called How to Use AI in Marketing. When somebody types it into Google, what comes up? Not my website, my blog page, because that's what it's about. There's a link. What they're searching for is what I'm providing. So that's a really good tip. Okay, so back to conversion rate optimization. You got your headline sorted out. Go and improve your words. Make sure you've got enough words. I see word. Do you think Google likes websites with lots of text or with just a little bit? It's a lot. It likes words, website pages with at least 500, 800, that sort of level of text. So you've got to have enough words on there. Next one, subheads. They're really important. Not quite as important as a headline or the title, but subheads. Make sure you've got good subheads that reinforce the message of the page. Next, pictures. A picture paints 1,000 words, doesn't it? A picture might, just a picture of you, people might look at me and think, well, that guy's clearly a Mad Axeman, or hopefully they look at me and think, well, that guy seems a decent sort of person. He's doesn't come across as a charlatan or whatever, and that's really, really important. Again, even better than that is what I'm doing right now, a video. Yeah, I'm going to be recording this video, and I can take it and I can put it on my blog. I can put it on my website, and when people look at it, hopefully they'll think, well, that guy Steve, he really knows about websites and what needs to be done, and how I'm sure he can help me improve my website. So that's again a really good tip there. Another one would be case studies and or testimonials. I could tell you all day about how great I am and what I can do for you and how I can help you to grow your business. And what are you thinking? You're thinking, oh yeah, well, Steve would say that, wouldn't he? He's trying to sell me something. If he doesn't sell me something, he doesn't make any money. So he's clearly going to tell me that, whether it's true or not. But if somebody else tells you, like if you go to my website, you'll see over 150 testimonials and a load of case studies. Yeah, you see how powerful that is? 150 of them, guys. And really, I've not been pushing that much. And I'm not saying that to impress you, I'm saying that to impress upon you. Where's your testimonials? How many have you got? If you're like 99% of the businesses I see, you've probably got 2 or 3. That's okay, but 150 is better. You with me? And what I've done, by the way, is I've taken those testimonials and I've turned them into a PDF that I can now send to people. It's like in a book format, that is just page after page after page of testimonials. And the book, or the report, call it what you will, is called Don't Take My Word for It. Yeah, quite a powerful headline there. And, clearly people are not going to read through all 150 testimonials. But what they might do is just have a quick flick through and think, oh, wow, that's, Steve seems to, he's definitely impressed people, and they're going to read a few of them and so on. So that's really important. Okay, so work constantly on improving your conversion rate. Work on each page individually. Start with the home page. What could you do to make that page convert more? Make sure that you've got something, and when I say something, I mean several things, for people to sign up for. My community, where the white box appeared on my website. What else have you got? Could you have a link to an event like this one. You know, if you've come from my website, you've come from my website to this event in order to listen to me today. You might not have done, you might have come from LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever, but it's definitely on my website. I've also got a webinar that you can sign up for, and that's another way I can get your contact details and be able to market to you. Another one is like a report. You know, I could do a report called the 10 biggest mistakes that people make with websites. Download this free report. You with me? So that again is a way of people have to put their name, email, telephone number in. And the important thing here is who's going to download that report? People interested in what? People interested in marketing their website. So I can then phone them up. And some of them might be interested in some further help. So again, really, really powerful. Okay, so we're going to move on now to traffic. You know, it's all very well having this great website, but if nobody's seeing it, there ain't a great deal of value in it. So I've not got time really to talk to you in depth about SEO, search engine optimization. You probably find, I'll probably be doing a video, one of these, on SEO in the, I don't know, within the next month. I do these twice a week, by the way, on Monday and Thursday at the moment. So look out for the next one. You can find them on my website, as I mentioned, or you can find them on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. I stream them, so they go out in advance. They're on there, and it basically says, you know, log in at 1 o'clock on Thursday, that sort of thing. So, you know, if you want to do that, then, you know, attend that. But what I will say to you is this: SEO ain't as complicated as SEO experts will tell you. I could teach you how to do SEO in about 20 minutes. When I say that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if you're an SEO expert, then all that means is it's something you've learned in 20 minutes. What I'm saying is, if you're a business owner and you want to understand the basics, the basic things that you need to do, it's reasonably easy to do. The problem is, it's two problems. One, it's never finished, right? When people tell me, well, I did the SEO 6 months ago, Steve. No, that's not how it works. That's like saying, I went to the gym 6 months ago and so I'm now fit. No, you've got to keep doing it. You've got to keep doing it. And then the other problem with it is it takes time. You know, there's no getting around it. You know, this, I again came across a company a little while ago and said, oh, we've got a guy that does the SEO for us. I said, oh, great. What's he do? And he said, well, I don't really know, but he's doing the SEO. I said, okay, how much does he charge? He said, well, it's £30 for half an hour per month. So he's done half an hour work per month on the SEO. Now, you know, it's better than nothing, isn't it? But it's not really enough. It's not going to get great results, I don't think. So that's one way, but that's only one way. Next way, quickest way, easiest way to get traffic is to pay for it, right? By advertising on Google AdWords, on Bing, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, right? You can advertise on all those sites. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all of them, clearly, but dependent on what industry you're in and what you want to try to achieve, there are really, I suppose, two ways of doing it. You pay when people click, like you would, sorry, let me say that again. You pay when people search for your keywords, like on Google. So somebody searches for marketing advice on the Isle of Wight, hey presto, my website appears. Or you decide on particular people that you would like to show the advert to. So, for example, on LinkedIn, I can say, show this advert to business advisors, consultants, coaches, and advisors who are based in, and I can pick a geographical area, who run a business that's either a 1 person to 10 people business, and so on and so forth. They've got the job title of managing director and so on. So you can do that. But there's also things you can do for free, things like posting on social media. You can go onto your social media and say, I've just written a blog post called The 10 Biggest Lead Generation Mistakes That Most Small Businesses Make. It's on my website. Here's a link to it. You send that out. That goes out to thousands of people. And let's say 2% of them go to your website. So that's got another 30, 40 people, whatever it is. Might be 100 people have gone to your website to have a look at your blog, or watch your video, or sign up to your webinar, or download your free report. You with me? So that, again, is really, really powerful. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that I never, ever post anything on social media or LinkedIn without a link going back to my website. And I get over 1,000 people to my website every month from doing that, by the way, not from the paid advertising, although I do that, but just from social media. Another one is your email list. I've got an email list of round about 10,000 business owners. I can do a quick email out saying, hi, everyone, just to let you know, I've just done a blog post called The 10 Biggest Lead Generation Mistakes That Most Small Businesses Make. I thought you might find it of interest. Here's a link to it. Go and have a look. Yeah, and again, 10,000 people, I'm probably going to get another 1,000, 10% of them go to my website and have a look at my article. And what happens when they're there, if there's good conversion, right, is they either sign up for something, download a free report, go to, on the end of this 10 biggest lead generation mistakes, maybe there's an invitation to book a meeting, or perhaps there's an invitation to a webinar of the same name. You with me? So you're bringing people into your world and then doing your best to keep in touch with them in order to help them, potentially for free to start with, and then move them into your paid products and services as their confidence increases and in your ability. Because I'll tell you this, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And they also buy products that they know, like, and trust. And they also buy from companies that they know, like, and trust. So if you can get a 10 out of 10 for people knowing, like, and trust in your company, you and your products, what's somebody going to do? They're going to Google it, or they're going to go to this company, this product, this person who they know, like, and trust. You know the answer. You don't need me to tell you. So that's another way of getting traffic to your website. Now, there's loads more. You can advertise in various directories, online, offline. You can go and stand and speak at events and take, I've just been signed up to speak at the Portsmouth Business Exhibition on I think it's the 5th of February. So I can stand up there and say, oh, by the way, if you'd like to know more from me, go to my website, results-mastery.com. And if you go there, you can download a free report called XYZ. Yeah. Or I could get there, if you go there, go to my events page, and you'll find loads of different training programs that you can gain access to for free. Yeah. So that's really cool. And by the way, what am I doing now? What's on that thing below here? Where is it? It's there. Well, it's weird. I'm like the opposite way around. It's over there, isn't it? Yeah, it's there, down there. That's it. There. Sorry, it was a bit of a mad moment, wasn't it? But I was just trying to show you that I'm promoting my web page, down on the bottom line. So I've had that in front of you now for about 15 minutes. So, you know, this is the real key to doing this, you know, to look at different ways of getting people to go to your website. So go to my website, download a report, you know, book onto the webinar, sign up to my podcast, you know, loads of things you can do. Why not book a meeting with me? You know, why not book a meeting and perhaps I could do a review of your website and suggest things that you might want to improve in it. If you want to do that, that would be fantastic. But anyway, that's about it for today. Like to thank you for being here. Just got this. Just look at that. How about that? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate your time. Don't forget results-mastery.com. And if I can help you further, please feel free to get in touch. Again, thank you for your time in being here.
So, thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, and even more, if you've benefited from it and you'd like to know more, you'd like more of my help, and you'd like to benefit from my nearly 30 years of experience working with and learning from the leading experts in the world in the area of sales and marketing, then here's what you need to do next. You need to go to my website, which is results-mastery.com, and use the gold button to book yourself a meeting on a one-to-one basis with me. Thank you very much for listening again, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Thank you.